How do you protect your IP or create moats? If you are creating using AI, the process of building is becoming easier and easier, and it's going to continue to do, especially building prototypes, especially building, like, turning your idea into something tangible. I'm working with a charity right now, pro bono, and helping them to make an application. I'm actually looking for people to volunteer, by the way, to help them with the coding portion, but we are putting together a prototype. And we are able to do that within days rather than having to hire a developer or a development team for £100,000 and then spend 6 months putting together a prototype in order to go and get financing, etc. We don't need to do any of that anymore. We can throw together a prototype really fast so that people can look at it and be like, huh, yeah, I get it. Cool. We're going to fund you. This is the same across the board. You can now build really quickly. So if you go to an AI tool directory or product hunt, you will see just a graveyard. So even just now, when somebody asked, can you recommend a PowerPoint creation tool using AI? And I was like, oh, you could use Gamma or Tome. I went to Tome's website and it looks like they're dead. This is happening all over the industry because it's very hard to protect the moat. Because if you build something that's cool, anyone, including myself, can come along, look at your cool idea and be like, that's cool. I'm going to recreate that in Lovable. I'm going to build that using Cursor. I'm going to make a twist on that and recreate it. And I can do that very quickly, extremely quickly, which means the moat is no longer about building. It used to be, because it was hard to get a technical co-founder, or you'd have to hire somebody who could code. So you'd have to raise money first. So it used to be when you went to entrepreneurship events, it would be lots of idea people who would be looking for technical co-founders. That's not the case anymore because you can now build very quickly, a prototype at least, using vibe coding. That means the distribution has become the moat. It's the ability to get your product to market and start to generate cash so you can reinvest it into making your product better, into acquiring more customers, into basically moving faster than everyone else. So distribution is now the moat. That is personally why I'm focusing on things like this. This is why I'm doing lives. This is why I have a newsletter and social media. I'm building the distribution up first so that when I want to launch something, it's much easier to do that. And I've already done this with a few products. So we did launches of the AI workshop kit, and every time we launch it, it's a 6-figure launch. So we can consistently do that now because we have distribution in place. And that is impossible if you don't have the distribution, because you either need to borrow somebody's audience, which means you split the cash with them. You do affiliate deals, referral deals, for example. You can buy an audience, that's using adverts. It's doable, but it's hard to pull off and you need cash up front. Or you can build your own audience, which is what I and many other people are choosing to do, because it then allows you, in this world where building is becoming easier, it allows you to actually get what you're building to market. So on that note, after this stream, which I'll finish up in about 5 minutes, I'm doing my build in public stream where I am building, using Lovable, an application, and I'm going to take it to market probably in 2 weeks or so. I'm building for 1 hour a day. The building portion is not the difficult portion. The taking it to market, making sales, that's going to be the difficult portion. So moat comes from that now. It comes from distribution. And there are many ways to get that, but I think content, talking about what you're building, is a very accessible way. It does require getting on camera. It does require that kind of exposure and that vulnerability, but it is available to everybody who has a phone, can start to create content and start to build that distribution moat. But it's a great question. How do you protect anything? You don't. You just need to have a moat that's made of distribution rather than from your product. How far away do you think the financial bubble may be? No idea. Not really my field. I'm sure we'll see a reset in the next couple of years, but I don't know enough about that, nor do I pay attention to that. There are much smarter people than me on that. I'm focusing mainly on the practical uses of AI, which continue to increase, but I can see a lot of money flowing into AI it's going to be hard to recoup it. Let's put it that way. The profits required to back up these valuations are going to be immense. And that basically people are betting on getting to AGI and beyond, which may happen, but it's a very speculative bet. So I don't know in terms of timelines. Hello, do you teach people how to use AI on your platform? No, but I'm thinking of putting together a kind of a basic training. It's something that it's been on my mind for a while. I just don't really know what form that takes, because a lot of the time I just tell people, just start using AI, like just start using ChatGPT in your day-to-day life and you'll work it out. but I understand some people want a bit more of a kind of a formal structure, a way to experiment. So it's something I'm thinking of. I just don't know what it looks like, but I'd be very happy to put together a training like that once I work out what it looks like. Great answer, Mind and Glory. Yeah, I'm very honest when I don't know something. Unlike ChatGPT, when I don't know something, I'll just say I don't know. It's a safer bet. There are too many people online who have opinions about absolutely everything. I do not. I do not. If I don't know about a topic, I'm not just going to spout off about it. Oh, sorry, user 44486039945. What is a moat? So MOAT. So when you create a business, there's always a question of, hey, I'm doing well, I'm making money, I'm making profit. Other people are going to be looking at what I'm doing and they're going to be thinking, I can do that too. And they will enter the market. So if I am the person who's in the market already, I'm called the incumbent. I'm the person who sits at the middle, or I'm doing well, I'm making money. And then new entrants come into the market and they will challenge my incumbent position. And often they can do this in a much more scrappy way than me, because let's say I've been in the market for 10 years, I've been making money, I've got a team. What that means is you tend to have bloat. You tend to have a lot of people working for you. It's kind of hard to turn the ship around. There's endless meetings, committees, etc. Whereas a new entrant into the market can move fast because it tends to be one or two people, and they're able to see what I, as the incumbent, are doing poorly, and very quickly remedy that and produce a new product which is better for the market, better for the customers, cheaper as well. And we see this again and again in business, basically. So AI has sped that up because I can now basically go to a website, dig around, take a few screenshots of their pages, work out what their business model is, work out roughly how the app is working, how they're deploying the value. And I can take that over to a vibe coding tool and say, hey, we're going to make our own version of Product Hunt. Here are some screenshots. Here's the flow. This is how they make money, blah, blah, blah. Let's go. So I can have Claude put together a business plan. I can have it put together a technical plan. It will work out what databases I need, what kind of what I need on my site, etc. I can replicate the product side of that incredibly fast using artificial intelligence. An hour. A very basic version, but an hour or so would be all I need. Previously, it would take a team who were technical, and it would take a longer time. So it was less feasible to challenge incumbents. With artificial intelligence, it's trivial. It's very easy to do. What this means is the distribution and and marketing and people knowing your name, your brand, etc. This becomes the moat. It is not your product anymore. It is instead how you're known in the market. The fact that people know you at all. It's about your marketing channels. It's about your SEO, it's about your social media, it's about all of these other elements around your product that drive people into your business. That is what now protects your business, not your product itself, because it's becoming a lot easier to replicate product, digital product at least. So moat is what protects your business. It used to be product. It is no longer product. It is now distribution.